Gold Squad TV. All right, man. I want to comment on something because I'm not gonna lie to you. As a fan of basketball, I'm starting to get kind of tired of this generational beef that's going on between current day basketball players and past year basketball players. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm taking the side of the younger players here. It's not that I don't think that the players back in the day had it harder. They did. Different style game. But here's the thing. If we know it's a different style of game and it's no longer the hand checking, the physicality, whatever, then we gotta just take it for what it is. The game has changed. Can't criticize players and call it motivation if they're doing what they need to do for what this era of basketball calls for. Now, the reason why I've been basically kind of following this Donovan Mitchell, Shaquille O'Neal story here is simple. I like Donovan Mitchell. I'm a fan of Donovan Mitchell. He's a humble kid. He's 24 years old. He came in the league. He should have won Rookie of the Year. Got robbed by Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons should have never won that Rookie of the Year. Donovan Mitchell should have been Rookie of the Year. He's been nothing but amazing in the 4 years he's been in the league, and it's gotten better by year. And he's not complained once. He's not said anything about joining those super teams. He's not nothing about anything but just play. Just plays, man. Just plays. Mind you, Denver traded him on draft day. They traded his rights to Utah. They look really smart now. All I got to say is this, right? For Shaquille O'Neal to go and say that it's motivating him by telling him you don't got what it takes. First off, Shaq, that's funny coming from a guy, dude, that before Kobe Bryant ever stepped on a court with you, you were getting swept by the Spurs, the Utah Jazz, and hell, you were getting swept in Orlando when you were running into Michael. Yeah, you beat him that 1 year. You beat post-retirement Michael, like 17 games in the season, Michael. You didn't beat Michael, Jeffrey Jordan, and Scottie Pippen, they primes. They wiped the floor with you. I remember watching an Orlando series against Chicago 96. That shit wasn't even close. It was like not even a thought that Orlando was going to win that series. Y'all had a little 17-point lead in the first quarter of the first game. Ain't nobody remember that. Y'all got wiped out so bad. Michael didn't even have to put up most points. Michael only put like 24 points a game on y'all. But it was the fact that he was so engaged on both ends of the floor, he put you guys out. Basically what I'm saying though, this man was the same dude that Kobe criticized for eating cheeseburgers and not coming in the camp in shape when he was clearly the most dominant player in the league. And you want to sit there and say that you're motivating Donovan Mitchell, and it is constructive criticism. LeBron James says something in a tweet, and I'm not the biggest LeBron fan, but I will say this. He was right. It's not so much the criticism. It's a difference between constructive criticism and hate. You can hear when they're criticizing, you can hear the hate in their voice. And I've never been one to be on the sensitive side. Because I do think players can be a little sensitive at certain points in times. However, in this situation, LeBron's right. Because Donovan Mitchell ain't saying nothing to Shaq in any way, shape, or form. He ain't disrespect Shaq. Even after the fact that Shaq said that sucker shit he said to Donovan Mitchell. Donovan handled that like a man. He handled it like a G. He's like, first off, it's about my team. This ain't even about me. That's what a real G do. The problem is with Shaq, it's simple. Shaq, yes, he was the most dominant, but he underachieved. Shannon Sharpe was right when he said Shaquille O'Neal underachieved. Had he stayed in shape, had he took care of himself, and had he not been so much all about playing games and being, happy-go-lucky Shaq, character Shaq, he could have won like 10 NBA championships. Not just with Kobe. Hell, he could have won in Orlando with Penny. But the man, yeah, he won 4 titles, but let's really be honest, that Miami title was really more Wade more than anything. Shaq played a part, but it was really more Wade at that point. And this man went ring chasing for the last 4 years of his career and looked horrendous doing it. I'm a Celtics fan. I remember him being in Boston. He's the reason why Kendrick Perkins got traded. And I'm not the biggest Kendrick Perkins fan. We all know I go in on Perk. Perk was better for our team. And we traded him, and he ends up going to the finals with OKC. And meanwhile, we get ousted early, and Jeff Green was pretty much a bust for us for the 4 years he was here. Outside of a few good games. We were undefeated when Perkins was our center with that lineup. And if he doesn't get hurt in that finals 2010, we're probably having a different story. That said, let's not revisionist past. Shaq has no room to speak. That's what I'm saying. And any of these older players, I'm not a fan of listening to older players do play-by-play. I've made it known in the past, hearing Chris Webber do play-by-play. And some of these TNT shows or these Turner shows need to start relying less on basketball players that played in a different generation. I like Reggie Miller. I mess with Reggie. Reggie, for all the sensationalism Reggie might have to do sometimes, I always feel like he keeps it 100. And I can respect Reggie. I like Reggie Miller. And I think his voice is really meant to be a play-by-play guy. Do I think Chris Webber needs to be play-by-play? No. I don't think Shaq should ever think about being play-by-play. I think Shaq being in the studio should just be focusing on entertaining people and less about critiquing the game. Because I honestly think Charles is better at critiquing the game than he is. At least Charles don't, for all the goofball shit Charles Barkley says, at least that man doesn't take himself too seriously. He's made it known he don't take himself too seriously. Shaq just sounds like bitter. Anytime you bring up a big man around Shaq, Shaq's ready to lose his shit. He's been going at Rudy Gobert in his contract for the longest. What Shaq has to understand is the game has changed. You don't run an offense to a big man anymore. Philly's the only team that does. And they'll find out when it starts becoming playoff time, you can't do that anymore. Not in today's game. Today's game is based on shooting. It's based on shooting and spacing. You cannot build a team where the big man is your best player. You cannot do that anymore. Not in today's game. Now you might bring up Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, Shaq went at too, basically saying he's not really a legit big man. I mean, the dude's 6'10", 6'11", but he's really more like a guard playing. He's like a 6'11" guard, for God's sakes. Who could play the post every now and then. I guess my bigger point is, like, I'm tired. It's not so, like, for one, I don't even like calling people old heads because I'm an OG. I don't like that disrespect. I think old heads is really disrespectful. It's meant to be disrespectful, and I will slap the daylights out of somebody they ever call me an old head. You refer to me as an old gentleman. That said, Shaq does come like a dusty ass old head right now. He just seems like a dude who's just bitter. He's mad because the game ain't what it used to be anymore. And doesn't like the fact that it's changed. If it's changed too much for Shaq don't gotta talk about the game. Shaq rich. Why don't you just go do something else, man? Or just do little Shaq in the food segments and call it a day. Like, you don't need to really kind of like talk about the game. That goes for any of these older players that played at one point. Like, you guys gotta understand, the game isn't what it was back when you guys played. It's a different game. The way it's even produced. Like, remember Oscar Robertson going, like, I'll tell you the most hateful shit to me that I felt was whack is when Steph Curry had his cheat code season in 2016, 15-16 season, when he had the MVP, and it was by far the most dominant MVP season, to the point to where he literally was the first ever undisputed MVP. Undisputed. I mean, no one voted at any point against him. Right? And yet, Oscar Robertson's hating ass came up out of nowhere from his 1970s, 60s, 70s grave. Oh, Steph Curry, all he does is shoot. He's not really that special. Get your hate. Would you take your hating triple-double having ass from 1948, out of here already, man? Like, listen, you had your time. You were great. I respect Oscar Robertson. You don't just get to go and disrespect Steph Curry for no reason. Steph Curry said nothing but respectful and positive things about you and your legacy, and all these players that played in the past. You don't just go and shit on Steph Curry because you don't like the fact that he shoots 3-pointers from like 8,000 feet. I'd like to see if your stupid ass guy actually had a talent like that. Oh yeah, you didn't. You played with fucking Converses on, and your fucking ankles would be damn near swollen by the end of the game, and only shot with one damn hand. Have a little respect, man. If you want people to respect you as a legend, respect the young legends that are coming up. Respect the new game. The game will respect you. I'm sure KD will show you mad love, Shaq, if you just stop sitting there and hating on niggas. Just fall back. Don't worry about the shit. I love Michael because Jordan outside of the things they ask him, for the most part, he don't really be hating on the young dudes, man. Michael just like, listen, man, let them young dudes play. Jordan don't be out here, and this dude's a GOAT. He don't be out here disrespecting. I never hear this dude once said anything bad about LeBron James. Ever. He's not said one thing about LeBron in any disrespectful manner. He just says he's just confident in his own abilities. But for the most part, I've never seen him go out his way to shit on LeBron. Ever. He never lets these media people turn him against, other legends. And Michael don't even wear it. He don't walk around calling himself the GOAT. So it is what it is, man. The man is done. All he's done all the time has just been respectful to the younger players. And the younger players deserve to have more respect for what they're earning. Now, I'm not saying all young players, but I do think those guys that are winning titles, or those guys putting up numbers like Donovan Mitchell, Jaylen Browns of the world, Jason Tatum's, they deserve respect. Give them the respect, man. That doesn't mean that they can't take criticism, but, let's be honest. There's some things you got to just be a little more respectful towards. At the end of the day, these older basketball players need to get out the way. Bottom line. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think these older basketball players are going a little too far with their criticisms, considering how the game has changed, as if like they're still playing, and how contracts are handed out, and how much value and versus value or decrease or increase value to a player and what might have been back in the day compared to now? Do you think that these older basketball players don't understand how the game is now and how things have changed, and just not respecting the evolution of the game? Leave your comments down below. Go Squad TV. Subscribe. Salute.